Can you believe it? We've made it to day 10, folks. I cannot believe it. 25 days of visibility live every morning at 8:30-ish. I'm a little late this morning. 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, broadcasting live on LinkedIn and YouTube. Glad that you are here. I'm excited about today because we are talking about going beyond just broadcasting. This is something that I've learned 20 years working behind the scenes as a television news producer, is that we could sometimes come into this digital space and treat it like television. See, television news, we talk at you. But the beauty of building a visible brand online is we get an opportunity to talk with you. And too often for my leaders, we're treating this digital space like television. We're talking at you instead of having a conversation with you. So as you are coming in, say hello to me. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And also what I would love to hear is let me know if you've been here since the beginning. There are some of you who've been rocking with me since the beginning. I want to know from you what has been a light bulb moment for you. So I want you to put the light bulb emoji and then let me know what has been a light bulb moment for you. Now, if you're watching this in the replay, how do you know you're in the replay? Because you don't see that red live button in the corner. And if you are part of my replay audience, thank you so much for being here. Hashtag replay. I want to encourage you to invite another leader to this conversation, whether you're here live or watching in the replay. So let's go ahead and get into the content so that way I can be a good steward of your time and that I can open it up for any questions that you may have. You guys are a really engaging audience and I appreciate that, but I wanted to open it up if you have any questions, okay? So yesterday we talked about LinkedIn. We talked about how to set up LinkedIn as your stage, how to optimize your profile, and how to show up strategically on the platform. Well, today we're taking it up and we're talking about the part most leaders miss: how to build relationship in this digital space, or as I like to say, in these digital streets. Because here's the thing that you need to understand. While most of you are posting content and getting nothing or a few likes or maybe a comment or two, but no real connection, no real relationship, no advocates, no opportunities. And the reason why is because most of you are broadcasting and not being intentional about connecting. You're treating social media like a megaphone when you should be treating it like a networking event. Ooh, did you say that out loud, Rashonda? Did you say the word networking? And I don't like networking. I don't like that word. That word makes me cringe. Did you just say that? I did. I did. And here's why I said that. Because what you need to understand about treating social media like your networking event is the executives, the leaders who become go-to authorities aren't the ones with the most followers. They aren't the ones with the most advocates. Excuse me, they're the ones with the most advocates. People who vouch for them, refer them, amplify them, support them. This is much how I built the brand, The Rose Show Live. And advocates aren't built by just posting content. These advocates, the people who will speak your name in rooms that you haven't gotten into yet, they're built by relationship. So today I want to teach you how to do that in the digital space because I know that it can feel foreign. I know it can feel uncomfortable because in the digital space, I'm not face to face with this person. These relationships aren't real, are they? Oh, contrary. They are very real. And just because I am not sitting across from this person, there is still a way to have a meaningful connection, even if it's through a comment. So this is where we go beyond broadcasting and how to build real relationships in digital spaces. So let me tell you the problem that I see when it comes to engagement. Now, I love to give you different scenarios. So here's the first one, the broadcaster. And see if you could identify yourself. You post your content, you share your insights, you put yourself all out there, and then you disappear. You never engage with anyone else's content. You never comment. You never DM. Matter of fact, you don't even respond to the comments under your content. You never build. You just broadcast into the void, hoping someone notices. And what's happening is you're treating social media like a TV broadcast. You talk, they listen, no interaction. And that's not going to work, because the results are no one's engaging with your content because you're not engaging with theirs. It's the law of reciprocity, right? So no reciprocity, no relationship, no advocates. Number 2, scenario 2, the algorithm chaser. You know, we hear about this all the time. You engage with content, but only for the algorithm. You drop great posts on 50 pieces of content because someone told you engagement boosts your reach. But you're not actually reading the content. You're not adding value. You're not building relationships. Actually, you're spamming people's comment sections, if we're honest. You're just trying to game the system. And what's happening is people can tell. That used to work when we first started, but it doesn't work anymore. Your engagement feels transactional and not genuine. And then what happens is while you're visible, you're not really memorable. You're active, but you're not building advocates. You're checking boxes, but not building relationships. Are you all starting to see a trend here that the key word today is relationship? Matter of fact, put that in the comment section, relationship. Scenario 3, the lonely leader. You're at the top, you're the CEO, the founder, the executive, you're the leader, and you're lonely. You don't have peers you can talk to. You don't have a network of people who understand what you're navigating. And you're not really sure how to build those relationships digitally because it feels forced or inauthentic. So what's happening is you're isolated at the top because you haven't learned how to build genuine peer relationships online. The result, you're successful but disconnected. You're visible but alone. Let me tell you how powerful this is. Just today, I was thinking about some things that I want to do in the new year. And one of the things that I am thinking through is hosting an event. Nina Thomas, good to see you, cuz. Thinking about hosting an event, a very specific event. And after I thought about the details of this event, the very next thing I started thinking about was, who can I call on in my network, people that I've built relationship with who can come and speak at these events? Nina Thomas is here. She's spoken at one of my events. Why? Because we have a relationship. This is something that I've learned over the years, and my husband really drilled into me. I learned this from my husband. If you're hosting an event, Rashonda, why bring in outside people that you don't know versus bringing in people that you built relationship, community with, and have them speak at the event because you know their heart, you know their content? Why not have those folks at your event? So for some of you, I'm going to go there. It feels like a heavy lift to have an event, to even come on live video and do something like this, because you're trying to be the Lone Ranger. And the Lone Ranger ultimately becomes the Gone Ranger. So if you build these relationships in this digital space, you don't have to be alone. Like if I wanted to do a live video later today, there's several people I can call and say, hey, jump on this video. I want to talk about this topic. Planning an event, what I was just talking to you about. I'm already thinking about the people that I have relationship who can do it with me. So what we have to understand is digital relationships are real relationships, you guys. The connections you make online can become your most valuable personal, professional relationships if you approach them strategically and authentically. But you have to stop broadcasting and start connecting. And today I want to show you how. So it's the digital connection framework. It's 5 principles to building real relationships in the digital space. And this is something I live by. Number 1, shift from transaction to relationship. I know you can sit here right now and think of some people that you want to build a relationship with, but it was very much transactional. Number 2, identify the 3 types of connections. We're going to talk about those deeper. Number 3, understand the engagement hierarchy. Number 4, apply the reciprocity principle. And number 5, play the long game. So let me break these down. Each one of these, I'm going to break it down for you right now. Principle number 1, shift from transaction to relationship. Stop thinking about engagement as a transaction. This person's comments, let me go ahead and immediately go to their DM and let me spam their DM with my product. While that worked a couple of years ago, and hardly, okay, we cannot continue to do that. Right? That is like me going to your house the first time that I'm ever there and going to your fridge and opening it. It's my first time here. Maybe by visit number 2, unless you're just kind of freestyling. You're like, no, make yourself at home. But still, there's a protocol to when we connect with people and instantly, immediately, they want to sell in your inbox. I do not like that. And I think we've all experienced that you accepted a friend request thinking that this would be an opportunity to build relationship, and the person immediately comes in your inbox and sells. That is transactional. That is not relational. Transactional thinking is I'll comment on their post so they can comment on mine. I know there was like what they used to call those comment trains, engagement trains. I've never done those things. You know why I don't do those things and why I'm not a fan of those things? Because while you are boosting the engagement of my post, I'm not building real relationship, and you might not be the person I even want in my community or even want to build relationship with. So I'm not even attracting my ideal client 9 times out of 10. Transactional thinking is I'll engage so the algorithm boosts my content. Notice this is very self-centered. I'll connect with them so I can pitch them later. Listen, drives me bonkers. Listen, you know what's the issue with this? I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's my live, so I can say it. When you think transactional like this is not how a servant leader thinks. Me. This is not how a servant leader thinks. Because this is not relationship building. This is honestly, it's using people. And I'm telling you, people are over it. So relational thinking is I genuinely want to add value to this person's work. This content resonates with me and I want to tell them why. This person is doing interesting work and I want to learn from them. That's relational. The difference is transactional engagement is about what you can get, but relational engagement is about what you give. What you give. Nathalie Gregg agrees with me. I'm going to throw up her comment here. She says, commenting pods never work. They do. They don't. They never work. I totally agree. So when you focus on giving, adding value, building genuine connections, supporting others, you get more back. It may not be immediately. It may not be through a transaction, but over time, through relationships, because these relationships turn into community, they turn into advocates. Come on, these people turn into collaborations. While broadcasting will get you followers, relationship building gets you advocates. So Let's talk about principle number 2, identifying the 3 types of connections, because not all digital relationships are the same. They're not. And there are really 3 types of connections you need to intentionally build. These are people, type 1 is peers. Type 1, peers. These are people who are at your level. Same stage, similar challenges, shared experiences. And why do you need peers? Because they understand what you're navigating. I would call these my business besties. They can collaborate with you. Remember, I told you about the event I'm thinking about hosting. They become your sounding board. Yes and amen. And they help you feel less alone at the top. So, for example, if you're a first-time CEO, connect with other first-time CEOs. You need people who get it. Type number 2, advocates. We've talked a lot about that so far this morning. These are the people who vouch for you, who refer you, who amplify your work. They might be clients, former colleagues, peers, or industry leaders who believe in what you do. Yeah. Why do you need them? They refer you when opportunities come up. I love the advocates that I have. They amplify your content to their networks. They defend your work in the rooms you're not in. They become your unpaid marketing team. So someone who's hired you, loved working with you, and now tells everyone about you. That's an advocate. Remember, we don't want to be anybody's best kept secret. Anybody agree? I don't want to be anyone's best kept secret. I want my clients bragging on me and be willing to share me with others. You know, that's kind of a red flag for me when it comes to people that I work with, that I did good work. We work together repeatedly, but they don't ever tell their network about me or what's going on. You want to keep me to yourself? Hey, don't impact my visibility. My visibility is power too. Type 3, audience. These are people who follow your work, learn from you, and may become clients. May. Now, why you need them? They're your potential clients. They spread your ideas. They validate your positioning, and they become advocates over time. So someone who's been following your content for maybe like 6 months, has never met you, but knows exactly what you teach, that's an audience. Now, you need all 3 of these. Most leaders focus on an audience, people who might become clients. But peers and advocates are often more valuable because they open doors you can't open for yourself. So your strategy should be, here we go with the strategy. Ready? Build 20 to 30 peer relationships, your inner circle. I love this. Build 50, ready for this, to maybe 100 advocate relationships, your amplifiers. And you know what? I love this. I would even encourage you to write these down. Yeah, write these down, name it. And if you haven't followed up with these folks, your peers and your advocates, follow up with them. This is a good thing to do, like maybe once a quarter, just check in, see what you're doing. I'm actually having a conversation with someone today who is my advocate later today. And I know they're going to probably ask me, what are you working on in the new year? And how can we work on it together? One of my advocates mentor called me yesterday. She's like, I'm just doing my end of the year call. Want to check in on you. Right? These are the people who are your amplifiers. And then, you ready? Build 500 to 5,000 audience relationships, your potential clients. This is the thing I need you to understand. It's always going to be quality over quantity, always. I'd rather have one person in my audience who's my ideal client than 100 people who are not. I don't want you to watch me just because. I want you to watch me because you're like, no, this is down my lane. You're speaking to me, and I eventually want to work with you. There it is. Nothing hidden. Principle number 3, understand the engagement hierarchy. Not all engagement is created equal. It isn't. So you have level 1, which is passive engagement. I was going to say passive aggression. Passive engagement. These are the people who will give you likes, emoji reactions, really no words. And what it says is, I saw this, Ro. I saw that you were live. I gave it a thumbs up, right? So the value in that is the relationship is minimal. This doesn't really build relationship. Level 2 is reactive engagement. So they give you short comments like, great post, love this, thanks for sharing. What it communicates is, hey, I appreciate this, but didn't really engage with it. And it's not because it was bad content. I didn't engage because, maybe I'm at my kid's program and it just started. I did engage with it because there was nothing else left to say, except this was really a great post. I'm pondering about what you shared. So the relationship value is there's some value here. It's better than nothing, but it's forgettable. Level 3 is thoughtful engagement. These are meaningful comments that add value. You ask a question, share an example, add a perspective, or build on their point. It communicates, I actually read this, I thought about it, and here's my contribution. Now, this relationship value is high. This is where relationships start. So let's really hone in on being a value commenter. And I even challenge myself with this often, right? Because I know we are such a fast-paced world, and we're what's the word I'm thinking about? We're competing with the scroll sometimes. But I want to share an idea on how to maximize your commenting. So instead of saying great post, okay, and I am just checking my live stream because it looks like it stopped. Okay, I'm back. So instead of commenting great post, try this resonates. I've seen this play out with my clients who assume visibility equals posting daily. But your point about strategic consistency over volume is what actually works. The leaders who post 2 times a week or 6 months build more momentum than those who post 5 times a week for 2 months and burn out. Have you found a specific cadence that works best? See the difference? That content shows you read the post, you have experience with the topic, and you're adding value to the conversation. That's the kind of comment people remember. And then there's level 4 of engagement. DMs, coffee chats, collaborations, introductions, referrals. What it communicates is I want to build a real relationship with you. And this is very high relationship value. This is where relationships go deep. So after engaging with someone's content 5 to 10 times over a month, send them a DM. Very simple. Hey, so-and-so, I've been following your work on visibility and it really resonates. I'd love to connect. Are you open to a 20-minute virtual coffee sometime? No agenda, just connecting with someone doing interesting work. That's it. And I have found, especially on LinkedIn, people are very inviting to having those virtual coffees. So the issue is most people never move from level 3 to level 4. And that's why they never build deep relationships. If you want advocates, you need to move to level 4. Now, is this good? Is this supporting you? Is this helpful? If you're just joining, I'm Rashonda Pratt, and this is 25 days of visibility. I'm going live every single day for now the next 15 days, talking about how to build a brand that gets you seen, heard, and paid as a leader. Today, we're talking about how to build real relationships in digital spaces. Now, let's get into principle 4 Applying the reciprocity principle. I love this. You have to give before you get. If you only post your own content and never engage with anyone else's, why would anyone engage with yours? This is why I tell new authors all the time. When's the last time you bought someone else's book? You want people to buy your book and sell it out? Well, when's the last time you bought someone else's book? Social media isn't a one-way broadcast. It's a reciprocal network. The more you add value to others, the more they notice you. So here's a strategy. Ready for this? Before you post your content, engage with others. Every day, spend about 10 minutes engaging with 10 other people's content before you post your own. 10 minutes. And you can honestly do this across any of the social platforms. Now, why does this work? You're starting to jumpstart the algorithm for the day. Platforms see you as active and engaged, not just self-promoting. Reciprocity. People notice when you engage with their content, and they're more likely to engage with yours. What happens is you're starting to build relationship. You're building goodwill before you ask for attention. I call this the daily 10 strategy. Seriously, been doing this for years. 10 minutes, 10 people every day before you post. Now, this is not random people. Over the years, I've learned that this is strategic. So your 20 to 30 peers, your 50 to 100 potential advocates, and your ideal audience members. Rotate through them. Engage meaningfully and add value. And watch what happens, not because of the algorithm, but because of reciprocity and relationship. Marlo says, so helpful, Ro. Marlo says, so helpful, Ro. I'm glad that you found it helpful. Principle number 5, play the long game. Digital relationships aren't built in a week. You can't engage with someone's content twice and expect them to become an advocate. Relationships are built through consistency. So be consistent. Take the next 60 days and decide, I am going to be consistent with the strategies that Rashonda has shared here. I'm going to be consistent in, let's go back to the digital connection framework, shifting from transaction to relationship. I'm going to identify those 3 types of connections where we talked about your peers, your advocates, and your audience. I'm going to understand the engagement hierarchy, moving from passive to being proactive in the kinds of comments that I read and how I have conversation on social. Apply the reciprocity principle. I'm going to gauge before I post. I'm going to make it out about others so it can happen for me. And then I'm going to play the long game. I'm going to take some time, the next 60 to 90 days, and be consistent in doing this and building a network of advocates who open doors for me that I cannot open myself. Now, before we wrap up today, I want to ask, does anybody have any questions before we wrap up? Any questions? Post those below. You all have been very engaging in the chat. Very engaging. We're making some program changes while I wait for your questions. We are going to move the State of Visibility address to next week. And so we will have a topic tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me know if there's a particular topic that you want to talk about, right? We were supposed to do the State of Visibility address tomorrow, but I'm going to change that and move it to next week. I do have some content planned, but if there's a particular topic that you want me to talk about, please post that, and I'll make sure to go back and check out the replay. All right, Marlo says, this makes so much sense. I have found that when I engage, I'm also helping boost others. It's an honor to help others be successful as well. I love it. Yes, it's an honor to serve. That's basically what it is. That's what you're telling me. It's an honor to serve. So Tomorrow, we'll do your topic of choice if you have one. And if you don't have a topic of choice, I will come back tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Friday, we're going to talk about storytelling without the cringe. Ooh. All right. This was day 10 on how to build relationships in the digital space. Remember, broadcasting gets you followers, but relationship is what helps you get advocates. You don't need 10,000 followers. You don't need even 20 to 30 advocates. Advocates are built through relationship. So stop just talking at the screen and start connecting with the screen and the people who are behind it. I'll see you tomorrow. You all have been an amazing audience. Thank you so much for the thumbs up, and I'm glad that you are here. We'll see you tomorrow right here, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for day 11. This is 25 days of visibility. I'm Rashonda Pratt, visibility and communication strategist, empowering you as a leader to go from hidden expert to go-to authority. Talk to you soon.